I'm trying to make a quick video about homemade tattoos. I'm a big fan of homemade tattoos. I like tattoos. I got a few that I paid for. My first was my ring tattoo. My wife and I, almost 13 years ago now, the day after we got married, got our wedding rings tattooed on. Went to a shop. A pretty simple thing. I'll tell you, for your first tattoo, all the way around your fingers a bit rough. I Full disclosure, I passed out in the tattoo shop when I was getting mine done. Didn't put me off the idea though. A couple of years after that, a few years after that, I got a jackalope tattooed on my back, which I'd wanted. And then I got my Smash the Patriarchy tattoo. And then since I had those three, I wanted more. So I kind of got into doing tattoos myself. You don't need much. You can go on Amazon and for, I don't know, probably 20, $30, you can buy you a stick and poke kit. It'll come with a little plastic doohickey like this to clip the needle into. It's got a little rubber grommet for the needle to clip onto, and it holds it there, so you can hold that a lot more easily than just holding the needle yourself. It'll come with a selection of different needles. Generally, they come in sort of three kinds: liners, shaders, and a magnum. Why not? Make it hot. And then how many needles they have. So number one, round liner, just a single needle. 3, 5, 7, 9 round liners. That how many needles they have: 3 needles, 5, 7, 9. A liner is going to be those needles grouped pretty closely together. So if you're doing a line and you want to get a really concentrated dot of ink right in there, and then the shaders, where the needles are spaced a little further apart to shade fill-in areas. So if you're doing something like, on me, I did these stars and what have you, and once I'd done the outline, I wanted to fill in, get a lot of ink in there. The Magnum's going to be even bigger. It's sort of a trapezoidal shape, I guess, with more needles and more spread out. So if you're trying to fill in a really big area, those Magnum needles can help you get them in. You can buy boxes of tattoo needles. They come in, I think there's a box of 50. It's a bit of a commitment, but still, a box of 50 stick and poke needles is relatively inexpensive as it goes, about $10 or so. And then tattoo ink. And again, if you buy a kit, it might come with a couple of colors. Or again, if you find maybe there's a tattoo shop that'll sell stuff to you, but online easily, you can find, I use vegan inks, obviously. You can find a selection of sexy colors. Or I do a lot of stuff, obviously, just in black. And then after that, you just want to come up with the design. Unfortunately, I lost the notebook where I sketched out the design for this guy, my very first one, my little slow down tattoo, which I love. I lean into my lack of artistic training and ability and go with pretty simple stuff, sort of heavy outlines and simple kind of lino woodcut designs. I gave myself this guy, which no one ever recognizes. It's a parking meter with the head cut off. It's Cool Hand Luke reference, greatest film of all time. And then after I'd given myself the slow down and the parking meter, I just, I wanted to do something, and I started giving myself stars. And then I thought the stars should come from somewhere, so I gave myself a little campfire. Like I said, I like the bodily autonomy, self-ownership aspect of tattoos. You talk to people about getting a tattoo, everyone's going to tell you, oh, it's forever, it's permanent. And they are permanent. But I find the idea of sort of bodily ownership and autonomy and change a far more inspiring thought than the idea of being stuck with something for the rest of your life. I have a friend who's a philosopher back in Australia. He writes a lot about sort of trans men's bodies and trans identity. And one of the things that I've got from reading, I haven't read everything he's written. I'm a bad friend and I'm not a philosopher, so but one of the things I found most inspiring is this idea of bodily ownership, of an identity that isn't just, oh, I want to be that and fixed, I'm this and I want to be that, but more the idea of, I want my identity to be my own, and the process of becoming myself, the process of whether it's surgery in that case or something else, that's part of the identity. That idea that you own your body and you're allowed to do what you want with it. You can make it yours. I find that kind of inspiring, and I'm simplifying wildly. And like I said, I'm not a philosopher, so I might be sort of, I likely am mangling the terms, but that central idea of bodily ownership is part of what appeals to me about tattoos. So rather than thinking, oh, I'm stuck with this forever, I think I'm changing myself. I'm putting something on myself that I like. It's mine. I can do what I want with it. And who knows, you can always do a cover up, you can do a tattoo removal if you want, if you don't like it. But there's also this sense of, whether it comes out perfectly or not, none of us come out perfectly. Cooking doesn't come out perfectly. Life doesn't come out perfectly. We might not always look the way we want, talk the way we want. I hate the sound of my own voice, but it's mine. I'm doing what I want with it, and I like that. There's a certain amount of necessary forgiveness and grace that you have to give yourself when you're experimenting, trying something different, changing. Life moves forward. We're not going back. We're not taking tattoos off. I can't go back and take singing lessons when I'm a kid so I can sing now. But I'm going to keep singing. I'm going to keep cooking. I'm going to keep giving myself tattoos and hoping they come out. So I made a quick video of me giving myself this guy. It's my newest one. It's just the days of the week. I typed out on my typewriter the letters, M, T, W, T, and F, and blew them up, traced them out on my skin, and went to town, stick and poke, just kind of giving myself this tattoo. I really like how it came out. I don't think you need to be too fussed about, it being perfect. I have an idea, and I thought that might be neat. And again, once you've given yourself one or two, why stop? I'm not getting back pristine arms, so I might as well have some fun with it. So I sit down, for these first couple I did, I really did sketch them out for a while and try to get the design right. They're a little more complicated. Before I traced it out on my skin, I tend to use a skin marker. You can do transfer sheets, but you need a special printer to print out the design on a carbon paper to apply to your skin. But I use a surgical marker because it doesn't wash off very easily, which is nice because you end up wiping at the area. I trace out what I'm trying to do, and then I just go to town. You can get little cups to put ink in, but you can also use I don't have any of those cups. I could easily get more, but more plastic. Why? I use the little sterile packaging, the needles come in, just put a drop of ink in there, and you just want to dip and start giving you lines. I find it takes a couple of goes to get it right. The ink gets in the way of seeing exactly where the line is. So I do my best shot first time around to get, tap, tap, just doing little dots, pressing in. You need to get the needle into the skin, but you don't want to go too deep. Hurts a little bit. If it's hurting, it's in there. If you don't press hard enough, you're not going to get the needle deep enough in the skin to get there. But go over it, one time, get a faint outline. Once you've got the outline of the design you've drawn on, give it a rest for a little bit. You want to let your skin heal. You'll come back, you'll see that outline, you can go over it again. And like I said, I find it takes 2 or 3 goes. The video that I'm showing shows me working on the final letter, the F. You can see in there, I'm also going over the letters I've done previously to fill them in. And just yesterday I sat down, I went over the F again after I'd let it healed for a while, and I went in and filled back in some of the other letters. If you're doing a more complicated design, you're filling in with color or something, you want to get the outline done so you know where you're filling in the shading. So get that outline in nice, let it heal, come back, do it again, get that line work really nice, and then if you want to fill in with color or something. The stars I did, the color doesn't show up nearly as well as black, so I had to go over and really do a couple of goes to get the outline of one of those stars into my skin, let it heal so I could see it, and then start filling in with the color. And again, filling in with the color takes a while. It's the case with all tattoos. You're going to get some dropout when might be a patch here or there that's not quite filled in enough with color. If you get your tattoo done professionally, your tattoo artist will tell you that. They might tell you, hey, if you get some dropout, come back in a while. You can get it reshaded so the color still pops. All tattoos are going to fade over time. If you're tattooing yourself somewhere that wears a lot, it's going to wear out a lot more quickly. So, my ring tattoo's under my wedding ring, and you can see on it, just in the middle there, it's a little bit of dropout, but obviously it's not going anywhere. It's been on there for over a decade, and I still know it's there. It mostly hides under my ring, but anytime I have to take my ring off, if I'm going to the gym or doing some work outside, I still have my wedding ring on, which I like. That's for me. So anyway, yeah, get at it. Like I said, it's going to hurt a little bit. You're sticking a needle in your skin. It's going to hurt. if you've ever had a tattoo done professionally, you know it also hurts. Depending where it is, it's going to hurt more or less. You do it somewhere fatty, like, you know, or somewhere that's not over bone, like right here on your arm, that's going to hurt a lot less than, you know, this here on my hand hurt a little bit. This sort of thin skin here on my wrist, it didn't feel great. It wasn't the best feeling in the world, but you know, you steel yourself to it. It's not that bad if you don't mind a bit of a, you know, if you've ever had a vaccine, I think getting a shot in your arm hurts more than giving yourself a tattoo. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun. It's a fun way to pass the time. If you have any artistic proclivities, it's a fun way to indulge them a little bit. This one came out really nice. I have a friend who is interested in tattoos but refuses to get one because apparently they won't let you in some onsens in Japan if you have tattoos. And that does seem like a valid reason not to get them if you are really anticipating going to Japanese onsens. I mean, I harbor a little bit of fear that at some point in my life I will be barred entrance to an onsen because of tattoos, and it makes me sad. But as yet, I've never tried to get into one, so I've never been barred from one. So the tattoos haven't hurt me. Other than that, you know, live your life out loud. That's what I'm all about, or at least trying to. I hope this was at least mildly informative. You know, obviously, like everything else in my life, my videos are a little messy, longer than they should be. But I hope this was fun. Any questions, I can always come back and try to talk more about it and write myself a script so it's all over the place. But, you know, we're improving. We're improving our way through dinner, through tattoos, through life. I hope this was fun. And I'll get back to, elbow, getting old. We'll get back to cooking videos soon enough.